Hello everyone and welcome back to Spider-Man.
Hey, it's me. What's with the units heading down 3rd?
Looks like our old friend Herman Schultz is at it again.
Shocker. Didn't he just get paroled?
Yeah, well, guess it didn't take.
No worries. Herman's just a big cupcake. I'll have him back in Rikers by bedtime. Just had dinner with my ex after saving her from masked criminals. And now I'm gonna go beat up a maniac who uses shockwaves to rob people. What a perfectly normal life you have, Peter Parker.
Right, so last time we kinda had to cut our dinner with MJ a little bit short because, well, we noticed that there was some commotion going on, some police cars racing to presumably wherever the Shocker is right now. But before we go and apprehend good old Herman, I figured that we should maybe take a look at some of the social media stuff here again. With Aunt May being an old person using a computer. And all that fun stuff like that. And also JJJ at Home is supposed to be the actual account of J. Jonah Jameson. So he sometimes posts here as well, and it's pretty much what you might expect. There's some quality jokes as well here. And what we can also do is, well, first off, let's just take a look at this Secret War outfit that we can't actually unlock it right now because we haven't unlocked the research tokens yet, so we can't craft that yet. We got some suit mods here that we can make. And I figured that since we do tend to get kinda clobbered by these big brute guys, that I would get the melee attack resist mod for the suit. And while we're here, just do a couple of upgrades for our stuff. Well, can't really do much for the web shooters right now, but get some extra impact webbing around, so that's nice. And yeah, we got the skill that lets us kinda hit the enemies around us when we are swinging around an object with the web throw, so they take damage from that. And also, one thing that I did not actually show off before is that there are these detailed bios that you can access from this menu by pressing X. So yeah, we can just see Peter here talking about himself, as well as the other characters as well, so it's this kind of a fun insight into Peter's personality and his relationships with all these characters. And here we also learned that Peter and MJ dated for 2 years until they apparently had this terrible fight, and it just kinda ended there. Yeah, like how Yuri's bio kinda tells us that, well, she's kind of a badass and doesn't always really play it by the book, if you will. And yeah, Peter is of course really fond of Aunt May here, as you might expect. And finally we have Martin Lee here, who, well, we don't really know all that much about him except that he is Aunt May's boss at the Feast Center at the moment.
Peter, I just want to make sure you haven't left any equipment you built for your friend around the lab. It's no bother to me, but if the grant committee stops by again...
Don't worry, Doc. I make a point not to leave anything there. But I know my friend appreciates you looking out for him. There's a lot of people who don't like him very much.
That buffoon Jameson and his audience of sheep? Please. The people who do great things in this world are those who don't let bullies like him stand in their way. People like us.
You said a mouthful, Doc. Take care.
Apparently, Dr. Octavius is not a fan of J. Jonah Jameson either, so that's something he has in common with Spidey.
Hi, Herman.
Seriously? Give it up! You're never gonna catch me!
That's what you said last time.
I don't want to hurt you! You'll just slow me down!
Wow, that's considerate. What's the money for, Herman?
What do you care?
Actually, I don't. Just trying to make polite conversation.
I'm done talking!
But this could be so much more rewarding if we connected on an emotional level. Wait, I forgot. You don't have emotions. Come on, Herman. At least talk to me so we can make it interesting. Herman? Gotcha. Now let's talk.
I said I'm done talking!
Noted. Honestly, Herman, why are you robbing again? You know the police are watching your every move. I mean, we all know you're kind of dumb, but I didn't think you were this dumb. You must be desperate, which means you're not just stealing for yourself. You must be working with someone, or for someone. You can tell me who it is now, or make me punch it out of you later. Your choice.
Said enough!
It's kind of hard for me sometimes to get a word in during some of these parts because Spidey just talks so much, and you can see that Shocker is blasting us with his shockwaves there, and now the first time you play this, the game will kinda warn you properly in advance. It gives you a slow-mo and everything, but I had a slight glitch that forced me to do this over so it doesn't...
Like zero personality, but your suit is awesome. Can we talk design details? Maybe later.
Good work, Spider-Man. Did you learn anything about his motive?
I tried, but he's not very talkative. Plus, I think he hates me.
You have that effect on a lot of people.
But you love me, right, Yuri?
I tolerate you.
Wow. That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Looks like I got some free time. Maybe now's a good time to look into that mask. Oh, it's MJ. Hey, MJ. You're up late.
Just catching up on the news. Looks like you had quite an adventure with Shocker tonight.
Yeah, he was unusually combative. Anyway, thanks again for dinner. What do I owe you?
How about a favor? You still have that mask from the gallery?
Yeah. I'm actually on my way to the Feast Center now to ask Martin Lee about it.
Martin Lee? Why?
He has a degree in art history. If anyone knows about the origins of that mask, he will.
Just keep me in the loop. Like I said, I think there's a bigger story here, and I plan to be the one to break it.
Sure. So I can call you, like, whenever?
Yeah, whenever, whatever.
So I guess we're talking again. Cool.
Yeah, we are actually not going to the Feast Center in this episode. We'll be doing some more side stuff. We got a couple of these side missions here that unlock over the course of the game, and I think we might do the Spider-Man PI mission here. But before that, we'll just level up again. Yeah, I don't really need this skill all that much, but the next one is kinda useful, so I want that. Because it'll let us... Hold on.
You might have heard about the robbery at Roseman's auction house. What you probably didn't hear, but my sources confirm, is that the perpetrators were wearing masks. Horrible, demonic faces. Yet another example of the explosion in mass criminals since Spider-Man came on the scene. Let's hear your thoughts. You're on with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, I see your point, but Spider-Man stopped those guys today. Saying he's like them because he wears a mask isn't fair. It's like prejudice.
Wrong. Here's a little lesson in the English language, my friend. Prejudice means to prejudge someone before you know anything about them. I know all I need to about Spider-Man. He runs around causing chaos, wearing a mask so he doesn't have to answer for his shenanigans, and a flashy costume so he gets attention to feed his gigantic, insatiable ego. Now, if I'm a mentally unstable person, and I see him getting all this coverage, what am I going to do? It's called copycat behavior, people, and it's ruining New York.
Well, at least JJJ still knows what's what. And just making sure we are still going in the right direction. And yeah, I was talking about the skills. Yeah, one of them, the next one in that tree lets us web up the, and web throw the brute enemies. And that, of course, will be very useful indeed.
Tried mixing up a prototype web fluid at Oscorp while Harry had his internship there. Didn't work. That place has always been bad luck for me.
Yes, that bottle there has TASM 1965-31 written on it, and that of course is a reference to The Amazing Spider-Man 31 from 1965, but I don't remember off the top of my head what that issue actually was all about. Presumably something about the Osborns, because that would make sense.
Are you okay, ma'am?
Carmen, and I'm fine. It's my husband, Rodrigo. He's been acting weird, and I just found out he's meeting this woman.
Well, listen, I'm not the best person to help with relationship problems.
It's not like that. I think she's involved with bad people. Rodrigo might be in real trouble. He's scared, but he won't tell me anything.
I can check it out. Any idea when he's meeting her next?
Tonight, by the detox center in Greenwich.
Okay. Don't worry, Carmen. I'll find out what's going on. And that's why Jonah paid me the big bucks.
Right, well, before we get to that, I figure...
It's not far. Carmen just sent me Rodrigo's picture. Let's see if I can find him.
Yeah, I figure that since we are doing a mission called Spider-Man PI, we should maybe change into a suit that would be more suitable for such a mission. Spider-Man Noir. I mean, what would be better? Or what could possibly be better?
That's Rodrigo. He's really nervous. That woman doesn't seem like a girlfriend. I'll get a photo and see if Carmen recognizes her.
You better not hold anything back. Why would I?
That angle.
If that
Need to
picture
get it
gets
straight
out,
on.
My life's over.
Give me the plans and it won't.
You can't web bounce while you are aiming the camera or while you have the camera equipped.
Looks good. Remember, tell anyone about this, and I leak the photo.
Plans? This sounds bigger than I thought. I better follow the blackmailer and find out how big. Carmen, I'm uploading a photo to you. Does this woman look familiar?
No, I've never seen her. What were they talking about?
Sounds like she's blackmailing him. She mentioned something about plans.
My husband works security at a casino in Atlantic City.
She could be planning a heist, but I'll need more evidence before I can do anything.
Let me know if I can help.
All right. I'm gonna see where she's taking the plans. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, so Spider-Man Noir is... well, he was introduced in the comics in this sort of an alternate universe thing.
Another victim or an accomplice? I need a photo. No perches with a good angle on this new guy. Looks like it's the underside.
Yeah, I believe his stories take place in the Prohibition era in the United States. But he's probably better known from the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions video game from a few years back.
He saw the photo, he fell in line.
Rodrigo always was a sucker. Boss will be happy. Let's see the plans. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta catch my train. Don't want to keep the boss waiting. Tonight's gonna be our biggest score yet.
Hell yeah.
How many people are in on this? I've got to follow him.
And the Noir suit has the power called the Sound of Silence, which it will stop enemies from calling backup
Getting off. Tap
in the stealth parts.
Follow the train's path.
Like they see somebody got knocked down and they would normally call for help.
Blackmailer met some guy under the High Line. Sounded like you knew your husband. I'm sending you the photo.
That's Deshaun, Rodrigo's best friend from college. He went to prison years ago on a robbery charge.
Casino plans and a criminal record. Not a great combination. I need to find out who else is in on it.
If they're hitting the casino, they'll need at least a wheelman and a safecracker. I watch a lot of heist movies.
Sounds like it. I'll let you know what I find out.
And yeah, while I normally try to show off all the suit powers, the particular one for the Noir costume isn't really all that helpful right now. And it's not very exciting anyway, so maybe get an opportunity to show it off later, but yeah.
I should head over near the subway exit and wait for him to get out. He's heading for that office building.
Well, I presume we can't follow him in through the door, but let's try anyway. Yeah, that would have been too easy, I suppose.
Got the plans, boss.
Good. Review the schedule on the map. I put our hires on the whiteboard. Mark their positions on the map.
Hired, running the drive. He's practically a kid.
My brother's kid. Can't trust him. Anyway, it's done. He's already picking up our secret.
For some reason, I'm getting some sort of horrible flashbacks.
Running late. Let's roll.
They're on the move. I have all the evidence I need. Now I just have to stop that car. Can't let him get any further away.
Well, seems like we have a heist to stop. Nico, it's your cousin! Why don't you take me bowling? Yeah, so this is just pretty much a regular car chase. Nothing different to the usual stolen car stuff that you do in the open world. And Spidey also doesn't have all that much to say in this part for some reason. I was kinda sticking to the wrong window there for a bit.
I love it when a plan falls apart. Hey, Carmen. Your husband's pal and his team just had their trip to beautiful Atlantic City canceled.
Thank you. I spoke to Rodrigo. That blackmail photo shows him driving the night Deshawn committed the robbery. But Rodrigo didn't know about it. He was just picking up his friend.
I've got a contact on the force. She'll help Rodrigo, especially if he'll agree to testify about the blackmail.
He will. Or I'll show him he needs to be a lot more afraid of me than Deshawn. Thanks, Spider-Man.
All's well that ends well. Let's just try to grab this backpack here.
This article blaming Spider-Man for electro-killing cops was the last straw. I had to quit taking pictures that helped Jameson print lies about me.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty low even for Jameson. No wonder Peter quit. And also half slab rib dinner for $11, and that is a bargain if I ever saw one. So now that we have another skill point, we can't get that one yet because it requires 2, but we can however get the Wrecking Ball skill, which now lets us swing around the brutes. And kinda use them to clobber others, so... or other enemies, so that's kinda neat. Anyway, we have a Fisk hideout pretty close by, so I figured that we might as well go take care of that before we call it a video.
Folks, I have to once again defend myself against the spurious claims from McDonald Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Yes, as I fully disclosed, I bankrolled the experiment that gave him superior strength, speed, and that unsightly cyborg tail. The idea was to create an anti-Spider-Man who is not a threat and stops menaces. I had no idea he was crazy. Do you think his resume said psycho with a poisoning fetish? His lawsuit is a transparent attempt to reduce his sentence at the raft by placing the blame for his deeds on me. And that is one package J. Jonah Jameson refuses.
Yeah, basically Jameson paid a scientist called Farley Stillwell to create Scorpion, and it really backfired.
I've got eyes on a Fisk construction site and their equipment's covered in dust.
Just there for show?
That's my bet. I'm gonna take a closer look.
They think the boss can't run things from inside? They don't know the boss.
Well, either these are some of the world's laziest construction workers, or there is something more sinister going on. So let's start by webbing up some guys around here and taking a look around. That's a whole bunch of guys there in the center. Maybe we can lure one of them a little bit further from those guys. Somehow somebody still sees him, so I guess we'll try something else. Nope, still dangerous. That's kinda odd. Normally that would be plenty of distance to take someone out safely.
Gotta be Spider-Man. Why so shy?
And yeah, since we left behind some web, yeah, they know we are here now. But they have no idea where we are. So we are safe for the moment. Now this guy, however, is kinda isolated from his buddies, and that makes him an easy target for us. And another stealth takedown. And the same goes for this dude. And that is the required 3 stealth takedowns for the optional objective, so... just take down a few more guys in stealth and then go loud. Because once you take out enough guys in stealth in these hideouts, the second wave will activate anyway at some point, and you are forced to just start fighting. So you might as well just get on with it. No, I don't think ducking and covering is going to help all that much. Now yeah, the other side objective for this hideout was to throw 10 objects, but I mean, we do that pretty easily as they keep throwing their grenades at us and whatever. I'm really happy with the grenades today for some reason. Yeah, so these shock stick guys, they kinda counterattack if you web strike them. Now you can still avoid the counter if you are really fast on the dodge button, but I kinda screwed up there and lost my combo.
Wait, don't tell me. They're hiding drugs in the concrete mix.
That's my theory. We'll need probable cause to get on site to confirm.
You'll have it.
So you could say that we need some concrete evidence. I'm actually surprised that Spidey himself didn't make that joke. And I probably deserved that flashbang for that one, to be honest.
And more of them. No shoving. I'll give you all personal attention.
Also, that flashbang and getting hit by that was kinda crap because I was... well, Spider-Man targeted the wrong object and he threw some box that was further ahead instead of throwing the grenade that was right near him. And then we take a shock stick to the face again because we're stupid. And at some point I will probably remember that I cannot yank these guys up into the air just yet. We need the skill for that. Or like we can't yank them into the air while we are in midair, if that makes any sense.
Reinforcements. Okay, I came here to web bad guys and quip, and I'm all out of quips.
We got some shield guys in the mix as well.
I can't reach him. Clear.
Yeah, we might not be bulletproof, but hitting us might be the problem, to be honest. And speaking of hitting stuff, I kind of completely missed that one. Tried to crash the scaffolding on top of that guy, but he was just out of reach. And I'm not sure where that last guy is going, because that's not where the fight is.
Shoot him down already!
Captain, I've got Fisk's guys and all the probable cause you need, webbed up and waiting.
Good job. Fisk thinks he can run things from inside, but he's gonna find out why long-distance relationships don't work out.
So that's another Fisk hideout done, and before we end the video, let's just go and grab this this backpack right here.
MJ wrote this article in the school paper about student protests. She was a heck of a journalist even then.
Now this article name drops a couple of students. There's of course Flash Thompson, who was, well, the most famous bully of Peter Parker back in high school. And then there's Sally Avril, who appears very briefly in the very first, or on the very first page of the first story that Spider-Man appeared in, but who has a bigger role in Kurt Busiek's Untold Tales of Spider-Man series in the mid-90s. Which is actually a pretty good read, and I recommend that one. But anyway, we will end the video here, and I will see you next time.